it's starting.
Okay.
We're live.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming to, this is first our volunteer meeting, and we're going to immediately follow with our first PTC meeting of the year. I'm standing in for Naomi Quibido, who is our PTC president. She was unable to be here this evening. There's a lot of new faces here, as Laura pointed out, so we're going to do just a quick round, going around the room saying who everybody is. I'm Adele Chauvin, PTC treasurer.
I'm Stevie Zeller. I have a second grader and a kindergartner, and Jen and I co-chair as secretary.
I'm Jennifer Dunbar. I have a second grader and a third grader.
Cassie Payne, I have a kindergartner.
Susan Aldice, a first grader. Betsy Prather, I have a kindergartner.
Nikki Prather, same kindergartner.
Sejal Waisali Patel, third grader.
Delaney Carboni, a first grader.
Simone Snaddick, I have a first grader.
Catherine Menard, I have a first grader.
Monique Vidas, principal.
I'm Kyle Cannon, I'm a first grader.
I'm Danielle, I have a fourth grader.
I'm Mary Beth Walsh, I have a kindergartner.
I'm Anna O'Neill, and I have 4 kindergartners. I'm Sarah Almond, and I have a kindergartner and a third grader.
Jessica Miller, I have a first grader.
Angelique Robb, I have a third grader. Laura Lee, I have a first grader and a third grader.
I'm Jenny Beaudouin, and I have a kindergartner.
I'm Mary Louise Stevens, and her son is my grandson, kindergartner.
I'm Maggie Wiesna, and I have a kindergartner.
I'm Ruby, and I have a first grader.
Amber Bustani, I have a kindergartner.
Was that everybody? She just walked in.
Lisa, I have a kindergartner, Carter.
All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for being here tonight. The purpose of the volunteer meeting is to run through the different committees and volunteer opportunities at this school and let you guys know what's needed. And I know probably quite a few of you are here because you're room parents, and CV will speak to that in a little while. Our first committee is our appreciation committee, and that committee runs the year-round appreciation days as well as the employee appreciation week. That committee is headed by Rochelle Aber, and she wasn't able to be here tonight, but I know that Rochelle would really love for somebody to co-chair this with her. She does an amazing job all by herself, but two's always better than one. This is a really amazing committee to volunteer on because you get to interact directly with the teachers and give back to them for everything that they do to our students. They're wildly appreciative of everything that gets done for them, so it's really a fun one to be on. Our most imminent employee appreciation event, I suppose, is going to be on Parent-Teacher Conference Day coming up. We usually do a refreshment cart for the teachers because they really don't get a break during the day. Last year we changed that up and did like a refreshment station, and that went over really well, so I think that's going to be what's done again this year. So anybody who's available to help kind of set that up, and then there's also going to be a call for donations for anybody who's able to donate, you know, fruit, snacks, soft drinks, water for the teachers to revive themselves during that very long day. Our next committee that we're going to discuss is the beautification committee, which Kyle Cannon is chairing. So I'm going to let Kyle talk about that.
Okay. Our first one is November 9th, and we had a dad's night out about it, and we have one March 28th. Anything else?
What are you trying to do, Kyle?
Clean up the yard, weed eat, cut trees, improve the front of the school.
So November 9th, isn't it?
Yes. It's a Saturday, and March 28th. And isn't UL coming March 28th?
The March 28th is when UL is also sending student volunteers, so that's going to be a great day to take advantage of some voluntary free labor and get a lot done.
Should we bring any tools or anything?
We're going to get more specific as like right now, some of the teachers have been bombarding Kyle with their wish list, so once the ideas are gathered,
exactly what we need right now.
Yeah, he's going to figure out, and if there's equipment and supplies needed, we do have a budget for that, and we may also put out a call to parents and community partners to donate if there's specific items needed.
What's the time on those days? Like 7 to 5?
Yeah, we haven't set that yet, have we? I don't think you set it yet.
CV wanted me to stand.
Oh,
by
okay.
you.
I'm on the trouble.
I'm giving people like issues with motion.
So,
Is there a time set? We haven't
Not
set.
that I know of,
Okay.
so it'll definitely be circulated when it's more definite.
I did just want to add, if I can, the idea behind it, just so I'm gonna stand up. Sorry, all my 6'1" stuff. The idea behind it is the school does a really amazing patriotic ceremony, and it's a really, really great experience for the kids. We honor those who have served our community, the children. It's a opportunity for them to, just really be proud of their family members, and so we just want to come together and be an additional resource for the school to clean the grounds up. So that way, when we have these really respectable members of the community here, it's the weekend before, and then the patriotic ceremony is the Monday, if I'm correct.
Yes.
And so that way, everything is just clean and crisp for the visitors that are going to be on campus, and we show these members of our community respect, that they deserve. So I just wanted to kind of, sometimes if you know the meaning behind it, it can serve as motivation.
All right, well, that is a perfect segue to our next committee, which is Community Life, which is headed by Jennifer Dunbar. And the main event that they coordinate is the patriotic ceremony. Jen, do you want to elaborate?
Yes, we do this on Veterans Day every year. This year it's November 11th. It'll be 1 in the afternoon. We ask all of our first responders, retired and current military, to come. Ms. Bollinger and I had it. And we have a huge ceremony. Everybody, all of the students who come with their first responders walk down. They get a flag. The scouts do a ceremony, and I know chorus does songs. It's really amazing. It's one of my favorite programs that we have here.
All right. So next is our Educational Needs Committee, which is headed by CV Zeller, and that includes she's the room parent liaison, and she's also going to help coordinate Media Center and Workroom. Right now, we really need some folks to head up and be the lead coordinators for Media Center and Workroom. There are a lot of folks who are really interested in helping in those areas. But we need somebody to just help coordinate their schedules. So if there's anybody who thinks they could spare the time for that, that would be great. And I'm going to let CV talk a little bit more about that committee.
Room moms, incredibly important. It's just being that support system for the faculty here, helping them, when there is in-school celebrations, kind of coordinate some things. I like to think of it as like the call tree, that way that, we can all kind of reach out if there's a teacher that might be in need of something for a project coming up, and maybe someone who has that. And then also just disseminating information within the class itself. A lot of our classes, not all, but most of them have a Facebook page that's set up, and so you can kind of help communicate within that teacher what's going on, what can be expected, hey, reminders, those types of things. So if you've volunteered to be the room mom for your class, if you'll just get in touch with me, I guess you could either just call me, and I'll it's a 255-4174. You can email PTC at any point in time, which is info@ptc.
Correct. Info at woodvalleptc.
info@woodvalleptc.org. And that will be coming together. So I'll be reaching out and getting in contact with everyone now that we've kind of had a meeting. We're getting volunteers put into the system, and then we can just really easily, we just do it through an app and just get the communication going. It's something that can be done kind of on the move. Workroom, Media Center, a lot of that is just helping facilitate making copies for teachers, making sure there's enough for all the kids in the class for activities they might want to do. Maybe it's some laminating. It can really vary, but the times can be flexible to accommodate schedules, even if you just have a little few-hour window, a certain day a week, or one time a month will take you. So I know that there's always stuff that the teachers can use help with. So if there's any available time that you have, it will go a long way in directly impacting the individual students. So any questions really we'll figure it out together and just work to continue to help our little ones thrive.
Can I have a quick one, Susie? Are y'all gonna
No,
do the
no, I'm kidding.
the contact sheet again? So that we can start getting class rosters together, or should we go ahead and do that now?
I know some teachers have distributed those already. So I guess if you're working with a teacher who hasn't distributed that yet, I would maybe talk to that teacher directly and see if they have their own form. If not, I'm sure we can help create one if that's
Okay.
not already available.
And
too.
then, what about the teacher favorite list and their birthdays and stuff
It's
like that?
compiled, and as CV's
Through
able
the
to
app.
get together
Okay.
the information on who all of the room parents are, she's going to circulate that.
Right. So we're just kind of getting a few little stragglers. It's been a really busy school year so far, and we're pretty close to having that finalized.
Okay,
so that will all be coming out sooner rather than later, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
All right, so our next committee is PTC fundraising, and I'm chairing that. Our two main fundraisers are popcorn, which the ordering period for that just closed, and it looks like it's going to be another great year for popcorn sales. Naomi Quibido is heading the actual popcorn assembly, which is going to be on the Friday mornings that are popcorn days. The first popcorn Friday is this Friday. And she definitely needs help popping all of that popcorn. I saw the 50-pound bag of popcorn that she had in the back of her car the other day. It looked like a lot. She says they use a whole one for every popcorn Friday. So popping, I believe, usually starts around 7 a.m. on the Fridays, and it finishes before lunchtime. If anybody has even, half an hour to spare in the morning, anything helps. You don't have to feel obligated to stay the whole time. But the more folks who can help, the better. And then I hear you can also help yourself to all the free popcorn you like during that time period. Eagle Fun Run is our major fundraiser, and that occurs in the spring. It's going to be, I believe, March 13th this year. Nicole Hauervast heads that, and I'm going to be co-chairing it with her this year, and there will be much more information to come on that as time goes by. But for those of you who haven't been here before, it's a really fun event. The students fundraise by whatever means they'd like. My child does a lemonade stand. I know other kids who will go and do yard work in their neighborhood. And then of course there's the old-fashioned way of hitting up the grandparents, aunts, uncles, and just asking for money. So the students all get roughly an hour during the school day to run around a course that's built for them, and everybody has a lot of fun. And that's our main fundraiser, raises the majority of the money that we use for everything that PTC does throughout the year. So we definitely need everyone's support on that when the time comes. Our next committee is Student Life, which Naomi Quibido is heading. And those main functions are the Fall Symposium, which is coming up October, October
the 11th.
11th. And to coordinate volunteers for all the other events. So for Symposium, I threw together some cute little flyers. Brandy Como heads that and does an amazing job, but she couldn't be here tonight due to another obligation. She did ask me to share these notes with everybody. Oh, and for those who haven't been before, Symposium is an enrichment day for our students. Community partners come and provide fun interactive experiences for the students. There's a different theme each year. This year is science, and it's going to be kind of robotics themed. So Brandy has some great ideas, and again, all the grades take a turn and kind of circulate for about an hour and get to go to different stations and have different interactive hands-on activities, and they love it. T-shirt orders help to fund the day, and orders are due tomorrow, which is Wednesday, September 18th. Order forms should have been sent home to everybody, but if anybody didn't receive them, they are on the website, which is woodvalleptc.org, and if you go to the forums tab, that's where they are. There are a number of symposium work days. Anybody who's been to Symposium before knows that Brandy does an amazing job with arts and crafts and creating fabulous backdrops for everything for the kids. And she's apparently really into paper mache this year. I listed the work dates on the little flyer that's on the tables. She's saying she needs all the arts and crafts folks to help build a Mars rover as well as astronauts, paper mache planets, and a large-scale spiral galaxy backdrop. And she's saying even if you can only make it to 1 or 2 days, even for just an hour, anything helps, and she needs everybody. She's also asking to everybody keep their eyes on Facebook for sign-up sheets, as well as help setting up the Thursday afternoon, which is October 10th after 3 p.m. And then she's going to need volunteers to help with the kids in the stations all day long on Friday, October 11th. So mark your calendars if you're able to. Even if you can just come for your own child's class, it's a really neat experience and really fun, honestly. Brandy wanted to say thank you for the great response, the parenting, the parent volunteering, the shirt orders, and of course for putting up with all of Brandy's space puns. If you want to reach her about any of this, she said we can share her phone number and email address. And it's also on the form on the table. The phone number is 713-882-5897, and her email is Brandy Lee Como, BRANDILEECOMEAUX @gmail.com. All right, so that's the end of the PTC volunteer committees. There are also several school committees that operate under the school administration's direction as opposed to under PTC's direction. And the first of those is the Fall Fundraiser Committee. Some of you may have seen the packets coming home already. I think if you don't have them yet, you should be getting them very soon. And I believe Ms. Vidos needs a parent to help run that committee.
Yes, just to help with deposits when deposits start coming in. And usually on the last day, it usually can take 3 or 4 people easily just to help. So, which is October 11th. Not the 11th. That's symposium. Or
I think it's October 8th or 9th?
I thought it said on the poster
on the 9th. Okay.
The 9th.
Anyway, on that day when we get a lot of them in, I would need help just having moms counting and making sure the deposits are accurate and add up, and so you don't have to let me know tonight, but if you want to help with that later, you can let me know. You can email me.
All right, and then our next school committee is the end of 9 weeks incentives, which Jennifer Dunbar coordinates. Jennifer, you mind explaining that?
Yes, you will see 1st or 4th. I'm sorry, we don't do kindergarten because they don't have a traditional report card. You'll see these come home. There's one for principal's list, honor roll, perfect attendance, and homework crew, which is any student that has done all of their homework all 9 weeks. Attached will be coupons for free kids meals to different restaurants around the area. So it's just a little incentive for our kids to keep trying and work hard. I know the kids really get excited about some of them. Their ices, ice cream at Sonic, all kinds of good stuff. So I'll do that every 9 weeks.
All right, the next school committee is Picture Day, which is headed up by Deborah Barnes. I believe the fall picture day is next Tuesday. Is that correct?
The 24th.
Okay. So usually Deborah needs a few parent volunteers to help herd the children in the right direction during Picture Day. Is there anything to add to that, Ms. Vidos?
I think that's it. Just some help on the day of, and I think that's it.
What time do pictures start that day?
It's always in the morning, and it usually it's finished by noon, not before.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
Before they get worried.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tuesday.
The next school committee is Spirit Nights, which Ms. Tossant is coordinating this year. For those of you who it's your first year, there are area restaurants that we'll partner with, and we'll designate a night with them, and they'll donate a certain percentage of their profits back to Woodvale. And then if you participate, your kids also get a free dress pass, which they love. So it's really kind of a fun experience to run into some other Woodvale kids in a non-school setting, and parents, of course. And yeah, the kids have a blast seeing their friends outside of school too.
And you don't have to cook.
And you don't.
Here, here.
The next school committee is Spirit Shirts and Sweatshirts, which Cassie is heading this year. Cassie, you have anything you want to share about that? I think orders have closed at this
Orders
point.
have closed, and they should be in the next week.
Okay.
So, and when they get in, they'll be in the next day.
Awesome. Next school committee is yearbook, which is Sherry Roan. Is she here tonight? No. Okay. She works with the teachers and compiles all the pictures and
Can I maybe speak to that?
Yeah,
for
you
her?
helped with it.
Just because I know firsthand what an incredible task this is to underhand. I cannot say enough how amazing it is for us to have yearbooks of our little ones, and they do a great job. So there's a lot of different ways that you can help us to get that compiled. It takes a lot of hours, everything from coming and donating some time to take some fun pictures. I've done that where I've gotten to sit in on the music class and take some fun pictures of them drumming, which was a great experience as a parent. And then we have a drive that you'll just drop those photos in to those who maybe have a little bit more comfort level with technology. There's a system that she uses where you just kind of drag and drop those pictures into the software. So there's kind of a range for, because some people aren't so comfortable with the actual what I call design process of it, but that's just really one aspect of the yearbook. There's so much that kind of goes in beforehand because these teachers are so busy. So if we can help facilitate these days when we're having symposium, when we're having the patriotic and we're taking lots of pictures and just getting the volume of material that's needed to create that book, and really even until the day they come in. I mean, it is just this massive order that comes in, and there's a lot of sorting that needs to be done, and there's just plenty of ways that you can help. And I know for 3 years now, I have seen the amount of hours that she puts into that, and we should all say a prayer for her right now because it's a huge undertaking, but she manages it, she does a great job, but it's nothing at this school is accomplished by one person alone ever. It's always a group that comes together that is a win for the kids. So we want it to be another amazing yearbook, and of course any ideas for any of these things are always welcome. So if you have a really great idea or something you would like to see, don't hesitate to let her know, and we can help facilitate setting people up together. So.
All right, don't go anywhere. Library liaison is the next committee, and CV's heading that as well. I know Box Tops is part of it, and then there's also the book fair.
I almost forgot about that. It's so exciting. I'm a book nerd. I'm a writer, just so y'all know. That's right. So this is like my comfort zone. The library is, one of these places that every student here touches. So it's so incredibly important for us to make sure that what's going on here is just the best experience that they can possibly have. The Box Tops is the one thing that I want to really get the word out about because it's changing. We live in an era where everything's going tech and digital and app-based. So what's happening is, up until this point, we would actually clip the box tops from. We also take the community labels off of your coffee and those types of products too. They kind of fall into two different categories. So if you see a box top on a product, clip it. I kind of save them in a bag and we send them, is it every 9 weeks, is that right? And you just write your child's name on it, send it in their backpack with their teacher too in their grade level, that always helps. And then they'll make their way to the library, and we'll have kind of days where we come together and kind of count and sort and help the librarians out. And the school gets money directly from that. And it's, in my mind, I would consider it a significant amount. They've done really well in the past, and those funds come directly to the library. What is happening now is that the program itself is going digital. So what they're encouraging parents to do, and what I would encourage you to do, is to actually download the Box Top app. It does not take a lot of room on your phone. It's very easy to use. And what you do is when you go shopping, you just take a picture of your receipt. So I literally do it before I even get in my car or like when I'm in my car, because I know once I get home that receipt's like gone. Faster than the money in my pocket. So it's really simple. It automatically counts your box tops. The downside, and this is just being completely transparent with everyone, is up until now the individual child would earn incentives for sending those in. The downside is that now it's not assigned to an individual student or an individual class, but assigned to the school as a whole. The money still comes here, and so I just hate to see us pass on funds that would just really benefit the students. So if you're of that mindset where you would feel comfortable doing something like that, then please feel free to download. It's a free app on your phone. You just scan your receipt. It automatically calculates your box tops, and it has a little run-in track. You can see where you are personally and where the school is as a whole as the school year comes on. And I just want to kick it back to the community labels real quick, because one of the things that we've really found helpful is to reach out to business partners that, you know, a lot of them buy coffee in quantity you know, to keep the labor force motivated. And so if they could just clip those and save them, I know the oil field company I was at, I mean, they would just have big Ziploc bags full of it, and it's like free money. So if you know anyone, a company or your company or, you know, whatever that would have something like that, please clip them and save them for us. And the book drive.
The book fair dates are gonna be, let's see, it's December 9th through 13th. And family night is going to be December 10th. There's going to be information sent home about that. Usually they do a really cool backdrop and stuff, and volunteers will be needed to help kind of set that up, as well as to, I think, assist with the order forms. But that information will be forthcoming as we get closer.
It's really fun.
Just to go back to the box tops, if y'all are like me, I know I did Walmart pickup, and they don't give you a receipt. And what they would do is they'd email it to you. So for the longest time, for probably 2 months after I downloaded this app on my phone, I'm going, well, what do I do with this? I can't take a picture of it, and what do you do? Come to find out, what you can do is email, like forward your receipt to receipts@boxtops4education.com, and it will go into your account that way.
That is such good information.
So we have to get that information from you, and we'll put it on the site. Because on the site doesn't have that. Let me go scroll back and look and see, because I can do it. So if you wouldn't mind, before you leave, I would love to get that from you. I didn't know that was a solution, so see, great things happen when things happen. Don't miss the book fair. It's amazing, and the kids love it, and there's trinkets and there's books, and it's a really great event. And so I'd love to see everyone just come out and support them.
And you can bring the littler kids too. We have younger children, and it's fine for them to be loud in the library that night. Our last school committee is the science liaison, and Rocky Baudouin, who is our science lab instructor, is heading that up himself. So if you have an interest in volunteering in the science lab, you can fill out the form and we'll get it to him, or you can contact him directly. The kids love that opportunity to get out of the classroom and do the hands-on science experiments, so it's a fun thing to watch, especially with the really little ones. I just want to circle back real quickly, and if you noticed, for the PTC committees, most of these committees only have one chair. We would really love to get to the point of having co-chairs for each of these committees. It's always great to have new blood, new ideas, and everybody could really use the help. So if anybody sees something that they think is of particular interest to them, please don't be shy to volunteer. We could really, really use the help. All right, so before we move on to the PTC general meeting, does anybody have any questions or anything else that they would want to bring up? Anything we should talk more in depth about?
I feel like I just want to say one quick thing.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I just want to say that and this is experience based, that part of the reason why Woodvale is so successful and has these amazing ratings and all of these accolades is because of parental involvement. It's because of people volunteering. It's because people going just a little bit above and beyond. You know, we all have very busy lives, but when there's a little bit here and a little bit here and a little bit here, it makes a huge difference. And things like our various fundraisers fund way more at the school than what I ever could have imagined walking in with a first-year kindergartner. And I feel really blessed to be part of an organization that is actually like doing something and buying Chromebooks and buying everything to make faculty life easier, student life easier. And I just wanted to just encourage you to just find some way to be involved, because that's what has led this school to such success.
Thank you, CV. Very well said. All right, so I'm not sure if there's a need to call the end time of the volunteer meeting, but it's 6:30.
Here, here.
All right, so I guess now we'll call to order the general PTC meeting. It is September 17th, and the time is 6:30. I guess our first order of business is approval of the minutes. I believe Jennifer
The
placed
minutes are
on each table. If anybody wants to take a few minutes to look those over, we need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
CV,
I
we have
don't
a
know if I
motion
can.
to approve. Does anybody second? Thank you, Laura. Our next item is our treasurer report, and that's me. Our fundraising so far this year through PTC membership and popcorn has been amazing. I think we've set records for both over the past few years. Our PTC membership account is at $5,354. We were under $3,800 last year, so this is huge.
Yay.
And then PTC popcorn is at $5,507. Last year we were below $5,000. So again, this is a great increase. We're really excited to have so much participation from our students and our families. Our PTC general account is currently in flux because one of the big things we do with our PTC money is provide funding for the teacher accounts, and those are being made right now, so I don't have a definite balance at this time, but we'll have an update on that at the next meeting. A couple things I wanted to mention to everybody as treasurer this year are a couple of changes that were made over prior years, and one of these is related to allocations. Every year we provide a certain dollar amount allocation to each grade, so that the teachers from each grade level come together and identify a need for their students and purchase big items with that allocation. In prior years, it's been $500 per grade. This year, we were fortunate to be able to raise that to $750 per grade. So we're excited to be able to provide that to all of our grade levels. We also have a new budget for professional development for the teachers this year. We have earmarked $2,000 for every teacher that creates a, Ms. Vidos, what is that thing called? Donors Choose for a professional development course by December 15th. The PTC will put $100 in their account to help get them started on their fundraising. Up to 20 teachers. Because of the $2,000 that we were able to budget for it. And if all of the funds aren't used, if there's anything left over, we're going to work with Ms. Vidos and get some sort of professional development instructor or course, some sort of training done on campus for the teachers with the remaining funds. Yes, Ms. Mason.
I have a question about the donor shoes. Do those have to be, like, I would love, like, whatever the teachers come up with, but do they have to be approved at the school board level to be done?
No.
They don't?
Okay.
I just want to make sure, because there were some questions last week.
No, our teachers have been doing them for a few years now.
Right.
I mean,
Okay. Just
4 or 5 years
I
easily.
don't want to get in trouble.
The only thing that sometimes we had to check on was the technology they were getting, anything that, you know, to make sure, it was one of the, you know, approved things that LTSS approves for, desktops and things like that. Right?
Yes.
All right, so I think that's it for treasurer report. So on to old business. Our membership drive, as I mentioned in the treasurer report, was very successful this year. As you guys may have noticed on the membership forms, there was a new tiered system. So based on donation levels, there were certain perks that were given, and it seems like we've gotten a lot of positive feedback on that. So thanks everybody, and we hope everybody enjoys those items. The physical items, the tumblers and the magnets have been ordered. And they should be in really soon. I believe the plan is to distribute the yard signs, the tumblers, and the magnets on Parent-Teacher Conference Day so that the kids aren't trying to lug these things home. So we're going to work on getting those to each teacher's classroom for those days so that the parents can pick them up then. Other old business was popcorn update, which similarly I already more or less covered. The first popcorn pop is this Friday, so if anybody is available to help volunteer to pop or distribute, that would be much appreciated, even if it's just for a brief time. They definitely need the help. Finally, the last item of old business was Dad's Night Out. Kyle, can you speak
Yeah.
briefly about that?
We went to Pete's and watched the Saints game. Just dads got together. It was, I don't know what night it was.
About how many dads
September
showed up?
5.
5?
And how did the Saints do?
They won.
That was before Drew hurt his thumb.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so the Dad's Night Out was an event that was organized because there was expressed interest from our membership in more outside of school social activities. So this year's budget for the PTC includes some funding for mom and dad nights out. So we will be working on coordinating some of those. So if anybody has any particular ideas or suggestions for those, we'd love to hear them. All right, so on to new business. The next big event is Symposium, which I more or less covered, I think, during the volunteer meeting, but that is, was it October 11th?
Yes.
I haven't been on block on that date.
October 11th.
So it's October 11th. It'll be here at school on the backyard. There's going to be robots. There's going to be space. It'll be amazing. So
facing back.
Brandy needs help for volunteering ahead of time as well as day of. So there are little flyers on the table with Brandy's email address, phone number. There will also be more information on the PTC Facebook page and circulated by other means as well, I'm sure. So the next item of new business is the Appreciation Committee, the conference carts, which will be more of a conference table. Rochelle is going to be, I'm sure, sending out a time to sign up, and you'll be able to find that on the PTC Facebook page as the time gets closer to sign up to donate refreshments for our teachers during that grueling day. And she may need some help to set up as well, so please be on the lookout for that if you're able to help.
So on the conference day,
Yes.
isn't for the first one we get the report card in person?
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
right? Okay. Good, I
It's
didn't
in October, I think.
Okay.
And that's when we're handing out the signs on that.
Yeah, and that's also the day that we're hoping to hand out the signs and the tumblers and all of that good stuff. So I guess next, are there any questions about the PTC stuff that's been covered so far?
Kind of related-ish.
Sure.
But like we have the tumblers and the signs and the magnets, and can those actually be ordered separately, or are they only with the sign?
That's a really good question. They were tied to the membership donation level, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to sell them separately. So that's certainly something we can toss around. I know a limited number were ordered, you know, kind of in correlation to what the sponsorship levels were, but I do believe there's some extras, so we can certainly look into that. And
Okay, I know that the school that we came from in Alabama, everybody had a car magnet. Everybody ordered one.
there you go. Okay.
And
So
just-
that definitely might be worth considering. Thank you for sharing that idea. Yeah, we'll talk
Bumper
about that. for
stickers,
sure.
our school's better than your school.
Anybody else? All right. So now we'll go into the administration and school updates, and I guess the really the only thing on there was the school sign, which I think Ms. Vidas can speak to.
Yes. Last year we had matching funds from LPSS and PTC that they dedicated to get an LED sign right out front. It's been the longest process forever. It took a long time to get the matching funds, and then when we finally had to get bids, and anyway, finally when we were trying to put it in now, I just got word that the child nutrition supervisor for LPSS is trying to put an AC in the kitchen for the cafeteria ladies. And now they're telling me that if they do that and with the sign, will we be on overload with the power because we're going to have to do an hour upgrade. So it's been put on hold again. So I haven't even had a chance to tell you that.
Okay.
But I'll be meeting with them this week to see if they're going to upgrade for both things so that we can have both.
So here's a question.
Yes.
Will, after the renovation, will the front of the school be the same?
Well, the cafeteria, you mean this renovation? Or
Yes. So in fall of next year,
yes.
will the front of the school be different?
No, it will not
Okay.
be any different, because we still don't have access to come in to park in the front.
Okay.
Is that what you're referring to? Like,
Yeah, I was just wondering if anything would be different. I was like, oh, well, that's the front.
Yeah.
Easy solution.
I guess if we had parking back there and an office area and all of that up there,
Okay.
it would work, do it that way. But they're not building all of that, and we don't have the parking in the back,
Gotcha.
other than the this front circle. I mean, the circle for the buses.
Trying to
I know. But what I thought you were asking at first about the cafeteria, because that also is supposed to be on the capital improvement for LPSS to extend our cafeteria, which is desperately needed. But even if we do that, they already showed me the plans, and it wouldn't be in the way of the sign.
Okay.
So anyway, we're gonna hold with the sign again.
All right.
We're trying to figure it out and get it done, but we're just on hold.
Understood. Construction never goes as planned. Ms. Vidas, do you have any new school business?
Well, as y'all know, teachers come to these meetings too every month, so I always like to have teachers share whatever is going on in their classroom at this time. So I see a few teachers here, and I think Ms. Yerjo wants to present maybe what the grade level. She wants to
Hey out there in Facebook Land, nice to see you. And then I'll share what I do in my classroom. Hi everyone, I'm Tara Yerjo. I teach first grade here, and I'm here to ask the PTC to grace us again with more books for our hall. We put together another list of books. These books are books that your children, if they're in first grade, go home with. They're AR books that we're focused on taking tests with. I see some first grade parents in here. You see them every week. Biscuit, Rocket, and all those guys. So we have some wonderful copies. We're under budget at $720.75. But I'll go ahead and take my administrative fee. And that's what, kidding. So I would just like to present on behalf of first grade our request for books this year.
Yeah.
So thank you. And I'll just real quick grab something in the back and show you what I'm doing in my room.
Does she need a motion to approve, or?
No, we don't have to
It's
move to
presented
approve. It's
first.
presented, and as long as it's got merit, it's good to go.
And we've been doing it for the last, I want to say, 3 to 5 years, and it has been wonderful. First grade annually has met their AR goal 100% in the grade level, and a lot of that is attributed to these books. They're high interest books. Just recently we had a brand new LA program, and this helps to supplement the reading part that we think is so very important and a foundation for our students to love reading. So in my classroom currently, we're getting ready for the new school year. We're a Leader in Me school. We're proactive. We're set goals. So, everybody loves football, huh, Carl? So as a grade level, we're setting football goals. And some of our goals in my class are take an AR test, earn 100 leader bucks, make an AR goal, read 100 books. This is cute. Be quiet in the lunchroom.
That's a lofty goal.
Get on a higher HIR reading level. So the kids are really doing a great job setting goals, looking for the long-term outcome. So this is just one of the ways that we introduce Leader in Me and help promote that leadership in the classroom. So thank you for your time.
Thanks, Tara.
Taylor?
Okay, I'm gonna make this here, so I'm gonna make y'all scratch your necks. Okay, I'm gonna bring up ACA, the Acadiana Arts Council.
Council for the Arts.
Acadiana Council of the Arts. I was like,
ACA.
I'm sorry, it's what,
Acadiana Center for the Arts.
Yes.
But okay. So, no, I'm really excited because we have 2 major grants that were approved for school impact grants through ACA. I do a lot of grant writing through them. The first one is going to be done in the PE department, and they're going to be working on mindfulness and some different strategies with a movement artist on how to control our bodies and what to do when we're angry, and just different ways, or when we're happy. She's going to explore the body. So I'm really excited. Kelsey, who's one of our fabulous ACA artists, she's wonderful, is going to be working with the PE teachers, and that's going to be done through the PE room. And we're hoping to expand it into classroom lessons and to also eventually maybe train our faculty how to be Zen, things like that. So it's going to be fun. And then the second one is a second grade level grant, and where we're doing it through the social studies program, where we're doing specialized arts units like Johnny Appleseed and Native Americans exploring other cultures through leadership. So that's being done in 2nd grade, tied in with Leader in Me. And so they do a lot of funding. So if you can support anything with the Acadian Arts Council, they do a lot of things with education. And on top of that, with the Donors Choose, I do grants every year through Donors Choose, and we get Chromebooks with that, especially from Chevron. So if you see any teacher posting it, just at least if you're just sharing it on your page, it'll get funded faster. That's how mine, and once it picks up momentum, then it's boom, it's done. So just wanted to share with y'all the Acadian Arts Council, whatever.
Center for the Arts.
Whatever. So there we go. The grants are good. We like them. Thumbs up. Oh, it's 2nd grade this year, so instead of doing a half and a half, well, and I can write grants. If anyone wants me to write grants to get in more artists, I can definitely do that. Oh, and that means we'll be showcased at the big celebration in May. So if you can come down and see your kids' art, it'll be like with the movement. I think they're going to do some sort of movement presentation, and then we'll also have some visual. So anyway,
Will you tell the new parents what PACE is?
oh yes, they're really awesome artists. Some of us get movement, some of us get visual, and so they come in the classroom and do not 45 minutes this year. It's only 30-minute lessons in the classroom with the kids based on whatever we're studying. So right now in my class, Sasha's doing rural scenes, urban scenes, suburban scenes with visual arts. And in the Kettinger's class, they're doing movement. And I don't know what they're doing. They do lots of things with movement I don't get. I'm learning about that. So, but I know that they tied in with math, or they tied in with, chanting
And does every class, not every class gets a PACE artist, right?
in 1st and 2nd.
Oh, great.
They only, we're only funded for 2 grade levels.
Okay. But I write
Because they
grants
share
for
the wealth
some.
among all schools, and so every school has 2 or 3 grade levels that they have to choose, But we also do other things during the year with the other grade levels, and we have
Oh,
things
yes.
in the cafeteria.
Because 1st and 2nd get the artists, they have special roving artist sessions, and I try to give those over to. I'm the ACA liaison, even though I can't even say ACA. And what we do is we give 3rd and 4th grade those sessions, so they can do those after testing or whenever it fits into their schedule. And with kindergarten, my next grant I'm going to do is going to put kindergarten in it. Since we took y'all's full year, I think. So yeah.
And then we have performances in the cafeteria,
Yeah.
throughout the year from
Correct.
artists and things like that. That ACA also
They
provides
do
as
a
well.
whole lot with the schools. So anyway, just wanted to inform y'all about those things. It's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
Alright, I'm Jennifer Bellott, a kindergarten teacher. I want to first of all thank the parents that came to help in the cafeteria or in the morning to get our kindergarten babies where they need to be. Because it is kind of like you've seen on Facebook when they're trying to put the cats in the box and the cats keep going. So kind of like that. So I want to thank you guys for that. That helps us out tremendously. And in our class, we're just kind of starting Leader in Me, learning what it's all about, learning what it means, learning our new curriculum. One day at a time, we're just moving. We're the beginning, so that's where it starts. Thank y'all.
To expand on that, we do have a new curriculum for ELA, our English Language Arts, for kindergarten through 4th, all across the grades.
I'm Megan Ingro. I teach math in 3rd grade. So far, our year has started off great. The kids are getting used to the 3rd grade curriculum. It's a lot different than it was in 2nd grade. We're moving towards getting our computers for becoming a 1-to-1 grade. So everybody's really excited about that. And also in 3rd and 4th grade, Miss Wiltz can take over from here, but they started a choir after school. So a lot of kids in 3rd grade, that's like the big thing.
Why are you saying what I'm
Sorry,
saying?
Jessica. It's like the big thing, so they all look forward to that. So she can take over. Thank y'all.
I don't need to say anything. You said it. No, I'm just playing. I'm Miss Wiltz, the music teacher. Yes, as she was saying, this year I wanted to kind of do more. I only see the kids once a week for 30 minutes, and I obviously love what I do. So love it so much that I started a choir with 3rd and 4th grade students. We meet on Mondays, and I'm planning different performances throughout the year. The first thing that we're gonna do is perform for our annual patriotic ceremony. So they'll sing a song there, and I'm also planning a Christmas performance at Acadian Village. So those are like the big things that I'm kind of working on. So I'm really excited. And also, if you're new to Woodvale, another thing I started was a music week, where we just celebrate music. And one of the biggest events that we have is a family folk dance night. And if you came last year, I hope that you come again this year because we're doing it again. And I'm really excited. It's just to show that, you know, music is important. Music, you know, develops the whole child, and that's my job, and I'm very excited to do that every day. So thank you.
When is that family night?
It's going to be in March. I don't have the exact date in my head. I actually have the date with the principal at Alamo, but it's at Alamo. More details will come soon as it comes, but it is in March. It's in spring, in the spring. So I'm excited. Put your dancing shoes on.
I think that's all the teachers, and so I just want to also share, because things were mentioned tonight about grant writings. A lot of our teachers write a lot of grants, and honestly, you know, that takes a lot of time out of their day or, you know, weeks, because they go above and beyond. These grants, it's a process, it's a long process, and it involves a lot of time. So it's really exciting when they get funded and then they implement it into the classroom or the school. But what I wanted to share was, since it's new this year, some of our SPED teachers and our adaptive PE teacher wrote a grant last spring through LEF, Lafayette Education Foundation, for a sensory room. Because we do have a lot of students on our campus that have a lot of sensory issues and just things, you know, autism and just some other things that, you know, students that are here that have those needs. But I just saw it yesterday because they worked on it yesterday and completed it, and it's so nice. It's just, I think they're going to call it the Zen Den, and students can come in there with their teacher, of course, throughout the day to, you know, just kind of calm down, and it has a swing in there. I mean, we'll have to showcase it one time, but if you're ever on campus, and it's in our adaptive PE room, so our adaptive PE teacher will use it for part of the day, and then SPED teachers and other teachers can use it for the other part of the day. So just want to share that because they worked hard to put that together too.
Did someone talk about already the app for box tops?
Yes.
Because I've been obsessively sharing it.
We did talk about that earlier, but
yeah, I want to watch the bar get to 1,000.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was just in the volunteer meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have the app right here, and like you can get up to 1,000, and you can scan your receipts. You told them about that.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's so
Well, but some of the parents didn't know.
$1,000 goal, and it shows you the whole school. Like right now we've earned $10.60. Like I'd like to get 1,000. That would be great. So I'm watching this bar.
And then the last thing I want to say, because I see Miss Sarah Clavel back there. Can you stand, Miss Sarah? She's our teacher representative for PTC, and she is our new instructional leader this year. So some of you may not know her just yet, but just wanted to introduce her.
Oh, and then Deputy Navarre is an amazing deputy. This is my last thing I'm going to say. She's been doing a lot of outreach to kids.
I completely agree, and I'm glad you brought it up because we have a new deputy SRO this year. But I truly see so many great and wonderful things that he's doing with the kids, you know, on an individual basis, you know, really starting to learn the kids and learn things about them and doing things for them, and just very hands-on. Yes, so thank you, Ms. Taylor, for reminding me of that.
I can second that as a parent, for sure, because we've had some experience with him already, and I can say that he definitely has a heart for the kids and knowing them and understanding, you know, kind of what makes them tick individually.
Correct.
He'll come and he'll give them little gold medals, like little plastic gold, like gold. This is my last thing. This is it. Like if they really had a good week, like
No, it's not. It's really not. It's really not. You gotta go this week.
He's very wonderful. He's wonderful. That's it. Done.
Dude. Well, I could share something too, but I'm done.
Miss Vitas, did you have anything else? Okay. I was just flipping through the notes that Naomi left for me, and I missed something, so I'm just going to circle back really quickly to popcorn. I forgot to mention that there's been contact with a couple of potential community partners about sponsoring popcorn. So a community sponsor would cover our expenses, the popcorn, the oil, the salt, and the bags, in exchange for it being their Popcorn Friday. So we think we have a commitment, but it's not 100% firm, so I don't want to announce the business name yet, but that is something else that's in the works right now. So were there any other questions for student administration or PTC? Yes, sir.
Two one at a time. An idea that may actually be part of the construction project that's ongoing, but an outdoor covered area, which could be as simple as a slab and then 4 pillars with a roof. And where this is coming from is recess. Very, very frequently has to be inside because it's too hot, and of course that doesn't change the temperature. But it would give us a little bit of shade, which could make some difference. Or the days where it's just like very lightly sprinkling. If you're covered, then that's not a problem. And I was curious as to whether or not, one, if that's part of the construction plans, and two, if not, what are the thoughts?
Well, actually, that's good news because it's not really part of the construction, but the board had approved for, I think it was about 12 schools, elementary schools last year, to receive a covered pavilion. Is what they kind of they're calling them. And ours is put on hold because a lot of other elementary schools did receive them and in the process of still getting theirs. But ours has been put on hold until construction is complete, because once our portable classrooms are out of here, that's where the covered pavilion will go. So that's why we're having to wait. But it is definitely in the works and already approved and funded. So
Awesome, thank you.
You said there were 2?
There were.
Diligent secretary.
So I wanted to ask, there was an event last year that I've been reflecting about over the summer, and I had some concerns with it I wanted to share. It's the end of 9 weeks PBIS party. Now, I love a good end of 9 weeks party, and 2 thumbs up for celebrating the successes of the students over the 9 weeks. So yay, end of 9 weeks parties. My concern about them, and by all means do correct me if I'm wrong, but the students who have had a referral or some number of infractions, that I may be using the wrong nomenclature, but then aren't allowed to go, that troubles me. Now, if somebody does something, that there should be a consequence. I think the infraction or the referral, whatever that is the consequence. But it really worries me for the kids who know that the entire school. And my concern is, we would hope that such a student in that position would say, boy, next 9 weeks, I'm gonna really make sure I get there. But I have a feeling that doesn't happen. I think the reaction is, I'm left out, I feel bad, I'm a quote bad kid who doesn't get to do those things. And I think that actually doesn't stop the negative behaviors, but actually just repeats them. I know a common counter argument would be, well, that actually helps incentivize students to make good decisions. I think those students who make good decisions most of the time are still gonna make good decisions most of the time. I mean, there may be a tiny, tiny slice of the population where that may actually make a difference. I think the leader box and that sort of thing kind of accomplishes that. It's immediate, as opposed to this end of 9 weeks thing. So, like I said, I'm a big fan of the celebration. We should celebrate student successes, good choices, etc. But like I said, my concern for the kids who don't make it, to me, makes it not worth it. And at that point, I will be quiet.
And I'll add one thing. I think at the event, they came, but then they all had to stand. Everyone sat, and they were like, if you had recess attention, stand up. So then it was like all these parents and grandparents and the superintendent, and the bad kids either had to stand up or sit down or something.
No, I think you're referring to
the groundbreaking ceremony that we had.
And what was before that, the Synergy Assembly.
Yeah.
And we just had kids stand up who earned a good positive reward that time for that 9 weeks. That's what it was. So, but the other kids, just to go back and to have some history, when PBIS was implemented, Positive Behavior Support System, that's when the end of the 9 weeks, so for a year, end of each 9 weeks, we had some type of big celebration. And so if the child, you know, I think had an A or B with maybe 1 or 2 minor infractions, could still attend the 9-week celebration. So we did allow for that one time, you know, for them. And you can still have a B in conduct and still get, you know, like a minor infraction or something in class that they had to pull a stick for. So it wasn't like they had to be perfect, but it was just a reward for those that had earned those things. And so I do think this year, and maybe I know you're on PBIS, you can speak to for the end of the year celebration. We did try to come up with something.
There's a positive in the PBIS. I'll speak on behalf of this. Our committee will be meeting soon, and I would love for you to give me your contact information so I can get you to pin something that I can bring to our group. I just want to say, like, over the many years that we've been implementing PBIS and we have had these celebrations, it is a positive thing to go with the children and say you are working towards a goal. I also feel very strongly in your actions have consequences, and there could be good and bad. I definitely see what you're saying, and I struggle with it too. And as a classroom teacher, I'll just tell you what I do. I give little Johnny 10, 20 chances. You know, I do everything to reach out to the families. I do everything, you know, and I'm not alone. I know that for our entire campus, you know, that we want every child to be part of these celebrations. I can hear your concern, and I do validate it, and I will bring it to our committee so that we can come to some kind of agreement to where, you know, we do want to celebrate every child. That is Woodvale's mission. I know that in my heart of hearts. We all want every single one of those students to be celebrated, to honor their successes. And I'll just tell you, that one kid who misses it that first time and gets it all 3 other times is pretty miraculous. Or what's even better than that is that kid who never gets anything at all and finally gets to go down the water slide. Last year I had a student who came to us from another school, and he was pretty hard off. He had, you know, some tough times, and he was doing some pretty awful stuff. We also take on consideration case-by-case situations. This child made a miraculous turnaround after getting in trouble and ultimately losing that celebration. But through a discussion and his hard work, he earned it. And again, we do take those kind of things into consideration.
And what I was going to say too, I meant to say, they're not punished on that day. We make sure we talk to them, and they get to play games inside. They can go to the computer lab and play something fun instead of educational, I guess. Yeah, as long as it's monitored, of course. But they're not just inside being punished. They understand that they can't go have the reward, but you're not punished right now. You're just, you know, you're able to do something else instead of learning in the classroom. You know, instead of listening to a teacher.
I have a question. Are the kids aware that basically they can improve and earn that back?
In the situation that I spoke of, it was on an individual basis. You know, we're compassionate people, and I believe, like, you know, if you're putting forth effort, you know, why not just go in? And I went in on those basis, and I know every teacher on this campus, if they see something similar to that, would go and recognize that. And I know our administration supports students' choice to change and to make better choices and things like that. There's not a huge group either that is staying back either. You know, I just know in our first grade hall, and we're kind of the dream killers. You know, we really are. We have the most, and yet we still have a small sampling of students. I'm sad to say that sometimes we have habitual offenders, and you know, some people just don't get it right no matter what and everything. But I hear you. I really, really do, and it does crush us to keep somebody away. And yes, I've seen tears, and I know kids' hearts have been broken. Last year, we rewarded them every week with something, every week. So those kids were getting so much. But then again, you know, we have to see what's the balance, what's best for the children. We're trying to, you know, teach and educate our future leaders. And, you know, consequences over here are mostly positive, you know.
And
but
consequences in real life is part of real life, you know.
Exactly.
In the adult world too, you know. So I guess, you know, if we weren't teaching them that, we wouldn't be really teaching the right way or the fair way, you know.
I would like to add something about the whole like consequence piece of it as well. My kid's never been to PBIS, but she doesn't have an F in conduct every week. But it's kind of like the consequence that keeps on giving, unfortunately, because you might have something happen in week 2 and then have A's the rest of the quarter, but because it was a major infraction or because you got 2 minor infractions, you like have those consequences, but then you also have the consequence again at the end of the quarter. And with young children, in my view, you know, it's that instant consequence that has the impact and makes, you know, the effort toward the change in behavior versus the long term. Like they don't have the mental capacity to understand long term consequence. So even though it's not meant to be a consequence, I think it does still often get viewed that way. I mean, my kid, I don't think cares that she doesn't go to PBIS, honestly, but it does bother me as her parent, you know. So I just wanted to mimic that to let, you know, just so that he's not the only one that feels that way.
Could they, well, and not just another idea, but I'm sure y'all, I mean, y'all are the experts and everything, but is there a way, like, they could do, like, something to give back or earn it back?
We have
Actually, we have that in place already. I mean,
and we
for
do a
just
mentor
general,
program.
all year. They earn things, you know, in there.
And then my other question is, how can everybody in this room because we're probably the really involved parents and the caring parents who showed up, like, how can we help some of the at-risk kids, and can we help some of the teachers? I know maybe the disciplinary issues we're not qualified for, but I know some of us read to the kindergarteners last year who were behind. If there's anything like that, I mean, I think people here would like to help.
We do have mentors for a lot of students who we see that need those mentors, and so we adult mentors on campus. I guess if it gets to be where we're spread too thin, which does happen a lot sometimes, you know, if you're interested in that, and maybe we could possibly, you know, entertain that idea of a parent being a mentor, you know, someone different, just another adult in that child's life. But the catch with that is we kind of check in and check out with them every day, you know, the mentor does, so it would be kind of hard on time, I guess, for a parent. Maybe we could have something else that would help us with that. I'll have to think about it.
I think that's something we can also talk about at Lighthouse too. That's another NPBIS. I mean, could be brought up.
What about Lighthouse? I'm sorry.
Like when we meet again, we could also bring
Sure.
up some more about the mentoring aspect.
Yes, what she's referring to is our Leader in Me administrative team. It's called Lighthouse, and we meet monthly to, you know, discuss all of these kinds of things, you know, and so we can bring these things up.
All right, anybody else? All right, well, if there's nothing further, I think our PTC meeting is adjourned. It is 7:08 p.m. Thanks, everybody, for coming.
Thank you, PTC. And thank y'all for everything else you've done so far this year, parents. Appreciate it. Thank you.